Hi. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the live Scotslam episodes. You can see I'm having a wee shot at hosting tonight, and I'm and as always with me are my esteemed colleagues, Greg, Lewis, Liam and Michael. How are you doing, boys?
Unfrozen for once.
So what was that you said, Ryan? Was that 3 esteemed colleagues and 1 steaming colleague today?
Something close, aye. Aye. We've just had 40 minutes of technical nonsense.
Thanks for your stream.
I know. Fucking arsehole. Anyway.
Fucking DX and introduction first.
Causing chaos. Oh, get somebody in chat already. Robbie Collins. Right, mate, how's things?
Hello,
Robbie.
Hello, Robbie.
Evening, Robbie.
Cheers for joining.
I know. It's always nice to have people in the chat. It's
good to have some company.
I know, feel fancy now. People in the chat. Look.
And Robbie Collins is he's from Fergusley Park, so if anybody's getting any belongings lying about, I would
just be careful, aye.
Only kidding, Robbie.
No get.
Kick things off with Smackdown tonight. That's okay with you guys?
All good.
Very start of the show, the Roman Reigns, the head of the table, kind of put in a pretty decent promo. They kind of put over Edge and Daniel Bryan. Basically stating they've had 2 Hall of Fame careers. And then, well, to me, it should kind of look at a open challenge to MD to kind of step up because he thinks he's better than everybody else. And then we had the Swiss Cyborg Cesaro coming out, and I don't know about you, Greg, but and he reached to the mic and Roman just kind of walked out the ring. I was like, nah, fuck off. I thought that was hilarious.
I found it absolutely brilliant, as you say. I thought his promos were really good. One of his better kind of promos that he did for me. I think we kind of spoke in previous kind of podcasts about his work on the mic and stuff like that. It was really good. He kind of says what he was going to do at WrestleMania over Edge and like kind of stacked up, pinned him, and that's exactly what he did. So I thought I've kind of really liked his character in the sense that he is the boss and he is the kind of the run of the show. And I thought when Cesaro came out, that just topped it off because that's the kind of character that he's playing. Somebody that is just totally in control of the show. So MD who does kind of come out and challenges Cesaro a joke, obviously we don't thing, but for him to kind of confidence and swagger and just walk out and dismiss Cesaro, I thought was absolutely great. And with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso at his side, he's a perfect heel, really.
I totally agree. I'm loving his kind of it's a brash, arrogant heel side. Can you see Cesaro as the next challenger, Liam, or do you think you still get unfinished business with Seth Rollins?
I hope he's the next challenger. I hope they give him a serious push. I think the big guy's brilliant. I thought Paul Heyman's promo on him was a bit derogatory. He does have $1 billion body, but I think the big guy's smart up top. You know, I think everything that they gave to Daniel Bryan and gave to Edge was to elevate Roman Reigns. It was to make him look good. You know, it's a kind of backhanded compliment. Oh, they're Hall of Fame champions, but that was to make his win look better. I don't think they did Cesaro any favours with the promo, and actually, I would quite like to see him being a decent challenger. I think he's got everything that I want to see. Everything I don't like about Roman Reigns, I love about Cesaro. It's unbelievable that even at this stage in his career, we're looking at him as an underdog going into the ring. I'm always going to be a champion of the underdog, but actually physically, they're more than a match for each other. Roman Reigns bores me to tears. I know what you're all saying about his heel turn. Babyface or heel, as far as I'm concerned, can fuck off my screen. I can't be bothered with the guy. I'd like to see Cesaro tearing the threads, take the belt off him, and then Roman Reigns do a Brock Lesnar and we only get to see him every 3 months. That would be magic for me.
I know. Can you see Reigns and Cesaro kind of built up and then possibly happen at Backlash, Lewis?
I could probably see it, to be fair. I think it's hard to see in what direction he's going to go. He's going to have to force his hand, maybe attack him, or something to anger him to make him want that match, because I think that's how it tends to go with Roman. Because I don't see him going to pick somebody. He's just going to wait till the big dogs actually make the decision. Like last time, Pierce had to force the decision. He's going, this is who you're facing. Do you know what I mean? I know Edge obviously put himself forward first, and then Daniel Bryan wiggling his way into absolutely everything at the moment. Films, you name it. Godzilla versus Kong, everything. Aye, so I think there's a chance he could do it, but at the same time, I would equally, because we kind of seen a hint of it. We've seen Seth Rollins coming out as well and attacking Cesaro. I know that's not linked with Roman as such, but could he all of a sudden, could a scenario play out maybe next week where something's going to happen where they bump into each other or something's going to cause them to have a conflict that then turns the feud into maybe a Seth Rollins Roman? Or is that going to, they want to maybe make that something bigger for SummerSlam maybe? I don't know.
Aye, totally agree. I'm kind of hoping for Rollins myself personally to be next challenger. I mean, I love Cesaro. I think his in-ring performances are always quality, but he probably does deserve his chance. But I'm a Seth Rollins diehard at heart. So if he's got to be in the picture, then by Cesaro.
Who would you see winning though? That's the real question, right? I mean, who would you see winning the two of them? Obviously, Seth Rollins diehard, but with the way Roman's going, how dominant he's going, could you personally see Seth topping him off of that? Perch?
Yeah. Heart says aye, brain probably says no. But it'd be a quality match, just in general. And as Robbie's saying there, and could do a triple threat between Reigns, Rollins, and Cesaro. Aye. Did you bet for that, Michael? Would you like to see a triple threat, or would you like to just see a one-on-one?
I think it'd definitely be a good match, a triple threat. But I think with the way Cesaro's getting pushed at the moment, I think they're more likely going to focus on just getting Seth Rollins out of the way, and then mainly focus on the push against Roman Reigns. I don't think by any means that he's going to beat Roman Reigns, but as we've seen many a time, you don't have to win to look strong. Just as long as they don't have that typical WWE situation where they don't want to have an actual loser, so they just throw someone out and go have a distraction finish or a disqualification finish. Just have a great match that you know that the two of them can put on, and then have a clean winner. And again, the two of them will definitely look strong coming out of it. But looking at the triple threat kind of thing, again, as I said, it would be something great to see, because I think the three of them, as Seth Rollins and Cesaro showed at WrestleMania, like the two of them just put on, like, probably in my opinion, definitely up there with maybe in the top like 3 matches over the entire like WrestleMania week. And obviously the history with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, I think the 3 of them would definitely put on a great match. So either way.
I totally agree with you. I think a triple threat would be a phenomenal match. Probably a possible match of the year if they're allowed to kind of get their time and do what they need to do. Kicking off Smackdown in terms of matches, we've seen Rey Mysterio against Otis. I'm going to come to Lewis right away, just because I've mentioned Otis.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mandy.
Mandy.
My peach.
Match itself, I thought wasn't it was all right, wasn't it? Great, but do you think Otis like should be losing these kind of matches, especially instead of building them as like a bigger kind of heel? And do you think this loss might kind of hurt him in the long run?
I don't think it'll hurt him in the long run because obviously we know Rey Mysterio, the caliber wrestler he is. I know in recent times he's kind of fell to the wayside when it comes to maybe championships and so on and so forth. And some people maybe differ with the kind of opinions on whether they enjoy the whole thing with his son or not, whether they're seeing that as ruining his career. I don't know. I'm going to say it's ruining it. I'd say that's harsh if they did say that, but I know there's a different opinions that for certain. That some people are going to like it, some people are going to say that it's actually kind of ruining his character in a way. But then, what other way could you possibly get, his son into the kind of business? Do you know what I mean? It's not really something it's kind of going to be smooth sailing. But for Otis, I think it's not going to hurt him. I think it's going to elevate him again in the terms of the heel, because it's going to bring out an even nastier side of him that we've already seen. We've already seen the brutal side of him where he's pretty much broke every single rib that Mysterio's probably got. He said he's going to need those spare ribs for the restaurant, that's for sure. But honestly, I think it will. I think it's just going to maybe try and build it into a bit more of a feud instead of it just be a total squash all the time. More for Ray's kind of point of view as well. I think they're obviously maybe wanting to try and push them on to be a tag team and maybe getting championships or something. I don't really know how likely that is. Creative will probably put them as champions next week for all we know.
Yep. Oh God, it's hot and cold with creative now. They don't know what they're doing.
No. Don't get started.
They're fucking beating men. I mean, if you've seen Raw, which we're not even partially touch on, but it's horrible. Next up we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't know about you, Liam, but this was kind of not their best match. And you see them have maybe one last fight at Backlash to kind of cap off the feud and see where they go for there.
Maybe usually the two of these guys have got great chemistry with each other. I've loved watching them feud over the years, but this was disappointing. But the most of all was disappointing for me. A lot of talent in the ring, but nothing, seemed to be hitting the mark. There was no magic. There was nothing in the whole context of the show that I found really exciting. And these two guys are amazing. I don't know what was off. There's some, kind of high moments, some decent spots, a few good moves and reversals and stuff. But again, even the way it ended, I'm glad he pulled him back into the ring for the stunner. But given that there was already 2 sneaky wins on the night for a count out as well, everything was just a bit deflated and a bit of an anticlimax. Didn't really enjoy it at all. Michael, you know what I feel about irritating guys with ginger hair, but he's good in the ring. You know, he's normally can pull off a decent match, but yeah, really flat for me. Didn't particularly enjoy it, and if they are going to go ahead at Backlash, I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to top that one.
Oh God, aye, definitely. Just the count out I've always found just a very cheap way to end a match. Just I've never enjoyed the way a count out finish. I mean, don't know about you guys, but it's just it's too. It's like too easy for creative just to go. I just finish the count out when you go. It's like have 10 minutes a flat match and just end the count out. It's stupid. Next we had the championship celebration for Bianca Belair, and since the Street Profits are involved, yeah, I'm coming right to Greg.
Yes.
These are the boys. What did you think of the promo from both Profits and Belair?
I loved it. I just thought it was absolutely. I think what I love most about it is it just came for Dawkins and Montez Ford, how proud they are, and how kind of monumental her achievement actually was. And it kind of shows the type of character Ford is for me as well. Just how obviously he in the Smackdown before WrestleMania, but he never got his moment. Do you know what I mean? But he's just so happy for his partner to headline WrestleMania again and just really kind of embrace that. So I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And then when Belair came out as well, just absolutely. So I kind of like when she kind of gave, I know he's here with Sasha Banks, but the fact he gave Sasha Banks credit, I mean, as well, and how good she was in the match, and just that them kind of went head on together was absolutely amazing. Before Belair came out as well, you seen Montez Ford just dancing about the ring and Doc, just the feel good factor. Do you know what I mean? Easily do it. Just reminded me dancing about in the living room. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of on Montez Ford. Jumping on my roof and kind of I can do the. You know, honestly, absolutely loved it. I just think they're great, and it was just for me actually because I think I really like them as well, and just kind of seen the joy that they had for Belair and stuff. It was a great moment, really.
It was obviously inspirational enough to inspire Dolph Ziggler's hairdresser. If you've seen him later on that night,
that was awful.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Absolutely embarrassing.
I'm come to that shortly. That was just that's a top point in itself. No, obviously, after that, you've seen Sasha Banks getting interviewed off Kayla Braxton, and then Bayley jumping in. Can you see Sasha getting a rematch, Michael, or would you prefer to see Bayley in the title picture next?
Definitely Bayley. Like, I'm not like Liam. I like Sasha Banks, but I think she was champion for long enough. She had a big main event moment, whereas Bayley had a few shitty wee segments with Titus O'Neil and a racist. So I think Bayley. Definitely deserves to be up there in the title picture.
I see. But honest, see the ding dong hello. I just fucking does it for me anyway. That's a quality catchphrase.
I love the ding dong hello stuff, and like just seeing how much charisma Bayley has. It was criminal that she wasn't involved in WrestleMania, but like that's what I was saying after WrestleMania when I saw when I was reacting to the Bianca Belair win and even the Rhea Ripley win. Like, it's just so exciting to see two new faces like at the top of the division to be in new feuds, and Bianca Belair and Bayley. Like, we all know how talented Bayley is, and WrestleMania was definitely a showcase for Belair to show off her talents. So I definitely, the two of them going forward, I think that would be a great feud.
I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I'd personally rather see Bailey next than Sasha. As she said at the moment, had her like it's like take on what you said. So it's time for something fresh. I think it's like something fresh is needed now, especially with Bailey and Ripley. So hopefully Vincent is listening.
Well, he fucking won't be.
Yeah. Well, so
Turns up like TZN's show. Do you think he gives a fuck about us?
fuck that.
We're not really in a position to be slagging that, Michael.
I'll do that one.
As long as it makes Sami Zayn the next Universal Champion, then that's what matters, isn't it?
Liam's anger levels is climbing to the fucking minute here. Next up we had Dolph Ziggler in his hair and Robert Roode against the Street Profits. Decent match, I think. Probably think many people expected Profits to win, especially after their promo and Belair saying this is a house of gold. Have you found the Roode and Ziggler run, Lewis? Have you enjoyed it, or do you wish it ends very swiftly, like next week?
I'm more.
To be specific.
Like now.
Well, to be fair, I would take Profits any day to shove them off the mantle. But to be honest, until maybe I think that episode of Smackdown there, I started to kind of like feel that Ziggler could. I was kind of just watching Ziggler and I was kind of going, he could still stand on his own quite well. Fair enough, same with Roode, to be fair, but I think Ziggler more so because he's going to be. You remember all the stuff he used to get up to when he was a heel? Do you know what I mean? Just everything, including the Vicky Guerrero stuff and everything. He was really good. I would take him again as trying to be a major heel and trying to upset a champion. Whether that is somebody, whether it's Drew or something. If he ends up getting the championship back, because I would certainly like to see the way he sells a Claymore kick. I think that would be fantastic. To be fair, but no. What I'm more disappointed about is why the hell were they not on WrestleMania? Why? I don't understand. Why have championships? Why is creative Vince, whoever's overseeing this, looked at this and went, let's just leave this match out until after WrestleMania? What's the purpose in that? What's the point in them actually having the belts? It totally takes away the point in having tag team gold. It kind of just goes, oh, it's just a side note. I know the way we feel Vince. His kind of view on tag teams we're obviously hoping that's changing. NXT, obviously, I know is overseen by Triple H. We're seeing a wee bit of difference getting made there. We'd like to think something like that's going to happen in these other rosters. Still, kind of remains to be seen whether that's going to happen. But I don't understand. I really cannot wrap my head around why they've waited till now to start trying to build up the tag teams. They could have done it back then because it's not like Street Profits. I think it was Ford that was out injured. He didn't come back in very short notice and just they did it the week before. They could have had weeks of build up still because every single match starts building up at a different point on the way to WrestleMania. So why they couldn't have done that 2-3 weeks to go, I don't know. So that's the really thing I think is really annoying me. But to be fair, if they lose the titles, I could see them stand on their own. So I could probably see them losing it if it's going to be Backlash. To be fair,
I definitely think they're building stuff for Backlash. Whether it be against the Profits again, or maybe even Ray and Dominic or Alpha Academy, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I think Dolph can easily go on and be like a main event guy. Robert Roode, I'd prefer him batting NXT. I think his character suits more the NXT kind of style. Is when he came up, we obviously seen it lasted maybe a month or two, and then he got like jobber status. So it'd be good to see him maybe get a run just herself, just see what he can do. But I totally agree with you. Next we had Shayna Baszler against Natalia. There's no. I'm guess who I'm coming to with this one, William. That's a nice wee win for Natalia.
Yeah, aye, and not before time either. They're just so sporadic with her. You can never really see her on an upward trajectory. I think the lass is class in the ring. I know Michael doubts her mic skills, and to be fair, I've never really thought that she was fantastic on the mic. I think some of the storylines he gave her, where she was crying and broken hearted after the loss of her dad, made her look vulnerable and weak, and it's really difficult to come back from that. But she's never really been in a position of strength. In the last 3 years, and that belies her talent. She's got a lot of in-ring strength, so I'm glad she's got the win. Not confident what they'll do with it, though. It wouldn't surprise me if a mixed match was a loss and I'm back to square one. But I'll enjoy the moment for as long as it lasts.
Hey, you're quite right, mate. You're quite right. Michael, do you think Shayna Baszler has been booked kind of correctly, and do you think she'd benefit from a singles run instead of being a tag champ? Because seeing how dominant she was in NXT, I think she's kind of deserved a singles run.
I'm so glad you came at me with this. Like, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler together they just do my fucking head in. Like, Shayna Baszler is so talented. Like, when she first came up to the main roster, you seen the tear she went on when she was in the Elimination Chamber. She tore through every single person, made her look so strong. And then she's like, I know it happened on SmackDown, but Raw, when she took the pin off a fucking Lana and Naomi off a fucking double facebuster. Like, the disrespect on her name is unreal. Like, she's a legit fucking athlete, a legit talent, and you see in her matches she's carrying them because Nia Jax is so fucking hopeless. Like, when Nia Jax first came up, I thought because she looked different, I thought maybe there's hope for her because, like, she's big and she's not anything. She's not like most girls. So but just to see, like, and coming out of this feud the feud coming out of WrestleMania is leaning on the fact that fucking Mandy Rose slipped on her arse, and then they go back to WrestleMania and they edit it and they edit that bit out. So this whole shit feud that has spawned, the whole reason that it spawned has just disappeared. So this feud has basically come out of nothing, and the whole fucking Nia Jax climbing on the ring and then slipping down, just trying to fucking create. I hate it when WWE do this, just trying to create comedy situations out of something that just happened organically. It was funny. Let it go. Like, when Nia Jax fell in the apron, she was like, "My hole!" And then they tried to make a whole fucking storyline out of that as well. Like, and I'm so glad. I think they teased it. I can't remember because all these shows are merging together for me, to be honest. Like, the teased, I think, it was in Raw, the backstage promo. Sorry, not promo, a segment, when Shayna Baszler was up with Nia Jax saying, what was all that? Why did you leave? Please, good God. I know Vince has got a fetish for splitting up tag teams anyway, like we fucking always touch on. Let that fetish trickle into this tag team because they need to split up. Shayna Baszler needs to get away for that fucking lumbering off and go in a decent feud. And as we've spoken about before, even if you don't see Shayna Baszler as a main level, like a main event talent, which you're a fucking idiot if you think that, but as we've touched on before, have a mid-card belt for the women, because there's enough talent in this women's division that would definitely warrant it. Like, they banged on about it long enough in NXT. I don't know if they banged on about it, and again, as I said, all these shows are merging together. It's one of the most talented women's divisions, like, in the planet. And the fact that they've only got 2 main belts, I looked it up to see if they had like any previous women's titles, but nah, Like, it's literally been main titles and that's it. A mid-card title, you've got enough talent, get Shayna Baszler like to hold it if you really don't see her as a main event talent, but get her away from her. Sorry if that was long.
I agree with it.
No, go for it. I totally agree with everything you said. It's been so like underutilized. It's unreal. But again, I can kind of see them teasing a tag title match for a Backlash, and you never know, Liam. Italian Tamina, one more chance.
Well, that would be unbelievable. And I think, to be fair to Vince, Vince has tried to split them up as a tag team. He's tried to, on a couple of occasions, to do it, but the gravitational pull and I had sore hole. You just can't get it away.
Oh.
I'll keep your home because they just need to go, especially separate ways. Just need to disappear. Nia Jax can get off my telly. Shayna Baszler can go on the rampant run.
Well, maybe the likes of Reginald, maybe he's going to do us a favour since he's not been seen. I assume, like Liam says, he's been sucked up her black hole. NASA soon to be exploring that hole, that's for sure. But Angel Garza as well, and he's wanting that involved. So I think there's going to be some sort of mess up with that. I mean, it seems to be like the way Baszler on Raw went after her to say you need to focus, which obviously is just going to be the case. She's going to fuck up to a degree where they're going to break up, and that's probably going to be them when they lose their titles. But like Michael said, see the whole kind of build up for the feud. I think it is ridiculous. Why do they have to do a show and tell with all the shittest clips they can fucking make up? Why not just focus it back on? They could have role reversed it and kind of just went, forget what happened at WrestleMania and just go, well, or even just go, this is what happened at WrestleMania to me, but look what happened to you on Raw. Your whole, I mean, they could have just done it one clip for one clip and that's it. And obviously the crowd's going to agree. Nia Jax's fall was far worse, and the commentary after it was fucking brilliant as well. So that's never going to be overtaken. So I don't know why they tried to accumulate about 6 videos to try and make that funnier than what happened to her. It just wasn't ever going to work.
No,
especially on Monday there as well. They basically paused the match. Do you know what I mean? Like when Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke came out and working through clips and all that. Basically, there's a match going on and it actually stopped for 2 minutes to go through wee clips, and you're like, there's actually a match going on. Just crazy. I'm like, just stop this. Just honestly, what am I watching? Just end it now. Like,
you can just picture Vince in the back, but just like, it's some real good shit, pal.
Do it next week. Do it again. That's fucking stupid.
So bad.
Anyway, that brings us to the main event of SmackDown, which was Cesaro against Jey Uso. For me, I thought it was a very good match for both guys. Again, it shows how talented Jey Uso is. I mean, like still in the main event scene. Did you find the match, Craig? Did you enjoy it, and do you enjoy seeing what Jey Uso talking about maybe every couple of weeks?
Aye, definitely. I think it's the push for me that Jey Uso's deserved, even all the time. And it was kind of started where he looked as if he was against Roman Reigns. I think it really, I know he's kind of in a position that he deserves. He's been absolutely brilliant. For me, the way, as you say, I thought the match was really good itself. He worked on Cesaro's arms and stuff, and the kind of intensity kind of bring him down, because obviously we know how effective like the swing is and UFO and stuff like that. So that was absolutely brilliant. I think he's just really got the push he's really deserved with Roman Reigns. I think a lot of people are saying he's the kind of reason that Roman Reigns is in the position that he is in. And I believe that to a certain extent. I think not just when the interference of matches, I just think that the calibre just helps his kind of storyline. But no, the match itself was brilliant. Cesaro again, I mean, it was the corkscrew uppercut at one stage as well. It was just
unreal.
Unbelievable, man. But I think with Jey Uso as well, he deserved to win the Battle Royal. I think that was the right decision. I think he deserves to be at the top, and you never know with him. I would like to see him possibly go for the title, get him maybe an opportunity at a belt, because I think he's definitely deserved it. And I think before with Jimmy Uso, his brother, coming back into the scene, so could possibly be another title run, which would be good. You know, it was absolutely brilliant. It was a great main event, and Seth Rollins, I think him coming out is just kind of added to it, as Lois was mentioning earlier, and I think that's just going to make it. Liam said at one point, Seth wear the suit again, top man.
I know, his drip's unreal. It's just save the drip. It's amazing.
Ollie McMahon Dollars didn't find his suits that I wish.
So maybe I'll sit here with like wrestling talks and everything else now, so I can just see, honestly, used to have obviously mentioned that Greg and Ryan, you both mentioned about buying these suits. I could just imagine the get up. It's going to be me, Liam, and Michael sitting here quite perfectly all used to, just sitting there with fucking flame shirts on, man. Like, that's where it's going to be. It's tag team in the podcast.
It's the way forward. It's the way forward. You just need to buy into it. That's what it is.
You want any pubs and clubs for doing it?
Tell you what, if you get that drunk and the guy wants to kick you out, they're not going to miss you, that's for sure. They're going to point you straight out.
Don't waste any money, boys. We'll get some of the folk that's watching to get their mammy's curtains. We'll get them sent in an hour or two.
I would take that as well, as long as it's decent.
I'm pretty sure we can pulse on it, Greg. It's fucking easy.
Definitely.
I know.
Main event was really good.
That was it kind of saved SmackDown. Kind of saved how shit Raw was, in a sense. I know we'll briefly touch on Raw right at the end, but it was 100 times better than Raw. That's all I'm saying now. Just to kind of cap off our SmackDown talk, do you like the addition of Pat McAfee on the announce table?
Yes.
I loved him. Yeah, I thought he was great.
I loved him so much. Like I watch his see the Pat McAfee show. I watch that as well. So see just his whole shtick. I like when he's talking, he's up like that, and he's just getting right into it. And I loved even the wee shot when like he was just up like that, and Cole was just sitting dead serious. He's got so much personality, Pat McAfee. And even if you watch his show, like he still like keeps the kayfabe going. Like he still sells everything that, like when the whole thing with Adam Cole, he still keeps that going. Like what was it he was talking about with War Games? He was like, I was in the ring with, I don't know, I can't remember how many athletes it was, but it was like 6 phenomenal athletes and Adam Cole. He's brilliant. Just even his commentary throughout the match, like, what match was it again? He was talking about he was building up a heel tag team, and then they get a move countered, and he was like, everything I said was a lie. So much better than what do you call him? Adnan Vic, whatever his name is. So much better than him.
Verna Jack, Snacker Jack, I don't know.
Imagine getting rid of the module for that foot.
I know. It's fucking. That's another thing when fucking rang with Raw, but we'll get to that as well.
do you think that Pat ever actually sat down during the SmackDown? No, I was thinking that towards the end. I was going, have I actually seen him put arse to seat? I don't think I have. I genuinely haven't. He's been that kind of full of everything. Maybe that's why they didn't have a third man on SmackDown, just because of the fact he's so fucking lively.
Animated. Cole just getting smacked in the face.
Swinging his headset about. Like, fuck it, let's go.
Bringing out the shots. Unreal, honestly.
We can swiftly move on to AEW. I think there's really one main match that kind of stands out for me, and that was right at the start. It was Pat Pac and Rey Fenix, Death Triangle against the Young Bucks. The match was fucking phenomenal, outstanding. All four men just know how to put on a show. It was unreal. What was your take on it, guys? Did you just enjoy it as much as I did?
For me, this was a match of the week. You know, I haven't seen a better match than this on any other promotion. It was unbelievable. For me, the Young Bucks are the best tag team I've seen since the days of the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys. You know, they're fantastic. They seem to have everything that you would want from a tag team. Remind me a little bit of an updated version of the Rockers from when I was younger, but they're phenomenal. But they were really, really well matched. I thought Pac and Phoenix were unbelievable. I thought the story they were able to tell in the ring was fantastic. Really, really creative. Really, full of innovation and ingenuity, and really, really well paced as well. And who's not going to love a match that finishes with a super kick, an unmasking, then a double super kick? It's just everything about it was class. Really, really talented guys. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I just totally 100%, totally 100% agree with everything you just said there. It was phenomenal. It's so much talent in one ring. It was like just a joy to watch. It was incredible.
See, just out of interest, and everybody else, did anybody see anything at WrestleMania that was as good as that match?
Cesaro Rollins window. But
Maybe
that match was amazing.
No, I can't really see it.
Yeah, I think that was the only one, honestly.
See,
honestly, as I think I said the other day.
Oh, sorry, man. On you go.
I know, sorry. I honestly, as I think I said the other chat, that's honestly the best matches I've seen for who knows how long. Honestly, God, I was just, it was the intensity and the high flying moves and everything. It was just non-stop. Like you had to actually catch a breath. Things for me, like for Pac delivering like the Black Arrow, and there was a stage where they did power bombs in each other on opposite ring, if I'm right in saying as well, at the same time. And, you just don't see very often. It was honestly, it's probably one of the best. It could be going maybe exaggerating slightly, but it's honestly one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen. Honestly, for action.
100%.
Totally agree.
See, even just cutting there, but just to touch on, like, this will be the last time. I promise this will be the last time I ever mention it. I don't watch NXT and AEW a lot. Well, AEW at all. This was the first AEW thing I've ever watched, and Jesus Christ, man, what a fucking wasn't as good as Bad Bunny's match. That's a valid point, actually.
Hey,
how do you
finish that, mate?
How do you ban Lewis? Can you ban people on
I'm afraid not. I'm in a strong agreement. Robbie Collins, you shall stay.
Oh God. Oh, it's brilliant. Aye, but aye. So this is obviously what this is catered for, like the new audience member, because obviously that's them broken away for NXT on the Wednesday nights. Because I think Chris Jericho touched on it at one point. He sent them, was it kicking and screaming, to Tuesday nights. And Jesus, man, like with that match, it's easy to see why they left. Man, that was incredible. And as I said, the first time of AEW that I've seen, I forgot how much I loved Pac. Like, I loved him in WWE, like just how good he was. And this is the first time I've seen him in God knows how long. Jesus Christ, man! Like everybody in this match was just amazing. Even not just the like their actual moves and all that sort of stuff. Even their personality, like there was a move, and I think it was Nick Jackson. I could be guessing here. He get dropped in. Somebody get dropped in the head, and he just went out to the camera. You just get dropped in his head there. It was brilliant, and I think it kind of reminds me. I don't know if you know what he looks like, but I think he kind of looks a wee bit like Matt Stone. See the South Park creator? I think he looks a wee bit like him.
It does it.
But that match was just incredible. Like, especially just to kick off a show, like just a random show. That was like a match that could headline anywhere. I'd honestly say that. Like, definitely.
You're right. It's a dangerous way to open. Because where do you go from there?
People in the back like, fuck's sake, guys.
Yeah.
First bit of chat.
It was great just to see a tag team go so long as well. See, with WWE, they don't let tag team matches go that long. That match went on for God knows how long, and you didn't want it at the end. Tag team matches that kind of recognition the same way as SmackDown. You get good matches, but that kind of level of quality. So it was good just to see 4 men just absolutely.
I suppose the difference it made for me with that opener is we're watching that at 1 o'clock in the morning here. If you're watching that live, my mind was blown by that. So I stayed up and I watched the whole of AEW. Now, as funny as the opener for NXT was this week, I was sleeping by 1:20, and that's the difference. There's no way I was going to sleep after watching that tag team match. I couldn't wait to see more. I was still trying to make sense of everything that they did. It was all kind of buzzing around my head. Really, really entertaining. Absolutely loved it. But I stuck it out to the end of the show because the opener was so strong. And to be fair, the rest of the show didn't disappoint.
I totally agree. Just moving on to the part of the show. You've seen a segment. It was just before or just after with Tyson and MJF. But he's trying to pay him a button check, and Tyson eats it and spits in his face, as only Mike Tyson would.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I thought he was a brave man slagging his face up.
Tyson says he's 2 shots, he's fine.
Oh god! I just thought it was nice to see him not on mushrooms and being able to like form a decent sentence. No offense, I'll make if you're watching.
I'm pretty sure that's
If he was actually there.
That's not even in the top 5 first things he did, Michael.
Have you ever seen him in his podcast? But like when he's trying to string a sentence together when he's been on mushrooms, he's just sitting there like that, just trying to keep it together.
Concentrating maybe too hard.
Maybe that's why he followed for this podcast. Get his own shrooms.
Next week, let's go.
Well, if Rod doesn't get any better.
I know, you fucking need it to get through that shit.
That's what I was going to say.
Like 3 hours, by the way. 3 hours of Raw, that is just, honestly, I can't believe shows 3 hours and you get like fucking 10 minutes. It's actually good.
Imagine the worst show being the longest.
Honestly.
Fucking
so
Raw,
bad.
Then we had Anthony Ogogo's debut. It was kind of shite. Sorry. But it was kind of shit.
Anthony Ogogo, go fucking home. That's what I say.
I was going to ask you, Lewis, is that your kind of same aspect as well?
You've kept me the right person for a rant, mate. Aye.
Kind of shit.
My finger was firmly on that fucking fast forward button, but I didn't really. I think I didn't get a chance because it was that fucking quick. It really was. It was pathetic. I didn't like the guy from the get go. I don't care. They're trying to put him as this kind of he's an Olympic boxer, blah blah blah. But you've got a real fucking boxer in your presence, Mike Tyson. You know, you're not going to trump him, mate. You know, he's going to come out and punch somebody. He comes out and he hooks one guy, and that's him. He's doing like a fucking a bag of rubbish. It's like, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense.
Nah.
He's not the powerhouse that he's made out to, and I don't like him, and I'm never going to like him. It's just he's rotten. you've got a real boxer. You've got a real fucking boxer. Why are you trying to put this guy who's been in Big Brother and try and pass him off? I never even fucking seen him Big Brother, and I googled it. And I'm like, oh, the cunt's been in Big Brother. Oh, well, that's fucking shite then. So no, I just
3 minutes, Lewis. Fuck's sake. I've never got to like him.
But
We need to watch, by the way. I've slagged Mike Tyson, you've slagged another boxer. We're fucked, man.
sorry, I've got a chance against him at least.
I just offer Tyson a joint or something like that. Ooh, all right.
I'll help you.
I think that's probably been the first misstep in the storyline, because I don't think the Inner Circle needs Jericho. Anthony Ogogo needs Mike Tyson. Why would that not be, the pairing? Why would he not be the mentor? Why would he not set him up for that? And then why would his debut be against nobody gives a fuck? Like, who was this guy? And he punched him in the gut, and that was enough to beat him. Of course, I've seen a guy. How could I punch him in the gut and get that one? It was impressing nobody at all. It really, by the way of an in-ring debut, that was really, really quite weak. I felt sorry for him. If you're going to build him up as this big Olympic boxer and Tyson's on the same show, what the fuck are you doing? Having him join the Inner Circle. They certainly don't need any more star power. They're big enough and credible enough. And Tyson could have come out and mentored Ogogo and still done what he had to do for that match. You're getting double the Iron Mike. That's not entirely a bad thing. So I felt sorry for him. It was a bit of an anticlimax. I don't feel as strongly as Lewis. I'm open-minded. He might potentially grow on me rather than I'll never give a fuck about him.
I'm in kind of the same sense as Lewis. Sorry, Michael.
No, sorry.
I've
got this fucking lag problem again. I see, even just when you're talking about Mike Tyson didn't even need to come out to the ring with him, just even a wee backstage segment before he comes out, just to put him over a wee bit, just saying, "Oh, I've seen you, you're a killer," whatever. Just even that, just a wee star rub, rather than a into somebody's fucking stomach. And I get that, obviously,
it's almost as if
Aye. And I get the way to get moves over is do it 1 week. It was the same as is it Sarah on NXT? Her finish looked a bit kind of iffy. I don't know if you've seen it, but that again, that's how you would get it over. But just the way it happened, it was just so bland.
And in the context of what we were going to see later on, outside the ring with Tyson, that just made it look even weaker.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'll be falling on for Anthony Ogogo. I've got the Mike Tyson.
Go out the fucking door.
Nah, go bye. Jericho versus Dick Turwood, and Tyson is a special enforcer. Decent match, Michael, and you had obviously Tyson's knockout blow to Dash Wheeler. It was your thoughts on the match and on Tyson's his wee spot to fucking up stage. Go.
Again, same as I said for Pac earlier on, I'll say for Chris Jericho. I can't believe how much I missed him and why I've not been watching before. He's just brilliant. And I thought it was quite good. At the start of the match, when Jericho went to get the chair, Tyson took it off him, and then Harwood went to get a weapon. He took it off him just to remain impartial. But when Harwood went over to the wee table, he was like, check my head, and then just getting the microphone and jabbing him in the stomach, and Jericho was like, no, pen, stabbing you in the head. I thought that bit was brilliant. And,
it's the first time I've seen somebody's face be the list.
Oh. But even when Jericho grabbed the camera and he was like, just filming him and then just doing him like that.
Double fuck off.
Jericho's just so good, man. And as I said, I can't believe how much I've missed him. But when Tyson caught, who was it he caught? Was it Wheeler? Was it Wheeler that he caught with it? But the punch itself just like.
I think it was.
But just the punch itself just looked absolutely brutal, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually caught him a bit. Like,
he sold it brilliantly if he didn't catch him, because it looked like one of those horrible ones that you watch on YouTube videos of the worst knockouts. No, with the legs extended and the arms twitching. So if he hasn't caught him flush, fair play, to Wheeler. That was a brilliant sell.
Nah, definitely.
It was just chaos as well at ringside, wasn't it? When obviously Pinnacle came out and all, so it was just like an absolute brawl. So you were trying to like kind of keep your eyes on the ring and outside, but I thought it was brilliant.
But see with performances like that, but in even the likes of Edge at WrestleMania, it just shows you that like age is just a number when it comes to these guys. And anybody that says that they shouldn't be in these positions because of their age, as long as they're used in the right way, which these two, like Jericho and Edge, like have been, like put them in there. Like, and if they've said this themselves, I think, pretty sure I've seen somebody else say they might have said it themselves, but like they don't want to be in there with the guys of their age. They want to be in there with the younger guys, like elevating them, and that's exactly what they did in this match.
What you're saying is bang on there, Michael. If you look at how AEW use the older guys to mentor, and the word you're using there is to elevate. You look at what Jericho's done for Sammy Guevara in the past 18 months versus what's happening to people like Humberto Carrillo, with WWE. It's shameful what happens to some of these guys. Why put them on the main roster, and treat them the way you're treating them, when the purpose to them being on the main roster at AEW is to make them look good, make them look solid, and give them that safety net of the old pro round about them. And the old pros that they're using, they've got integrity. They're still able to go in the ring. They're not up there purely for marquee value. They're actually adding to the in-ring product, which is good. And I feel sorry for some of the younger guys at WWE who don't get given the same showcase or the same respect.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And I think backstage after, you seen a wee kind of segment with the Elite. Obviously, it was Bucks with Don Callis, Omega, and the Good Brothers. And you had the Bucks calling himself the best tag team in the world. But there's Carl Anderson and Gallows right behind them. You see them maybe planting a wee seed for a future feud.
That'd be a great match.
Brilliant. So
I think it'd be quality. I
think as well, you've obviously seen like Kenny Omega and stuff. I think is at this start the kind of crossover into it with Impact Rebellion when Kenny Omega kind of faces that'll be fascinating as well. I've not really watched much Impact, but I've kind of matches coming up, so it's kind of get that aspect in it as well. I think.
I'm the same as you, Greg. I don't watch much Impact either, but if Kenny Omega was in Coronation Street, I would watch it.
I know. I think he's fighting. Is it the fight with Rich One? Isn't it? I think it's unification bout. I'm sure. Or am I just thinking the wrong thing?
No, you're right. You're right, and I think for what I've seen at Impact, I watched Impact a while ago, and it was kind of good to a level, but I think it had kind of so that Kenny Omega is Lee saying there, kind of get into a match like that is only going to kind of do it there's talk of change stuff. I think she was there before, so obviously we were talking about her before getting released with WWE, and she's going back there, so it possibly seems as if it's going to pick up a bit in that kind of brand. But no, it would definitely be interesting to see. But as we're touching on earlier on, I just kind of see the Young Bucks now. Do you mean after that tag team match and stuff, and kind of going forward, I would like to see them continue. They deserve it. They're just honestly unbelievable.
Definitely.
And then we will move on to the main event. Is Darby Allin against Money Matt Hardy. Don't really, but I thought the match was excellent. I think both men put in a good performance. Especially Matt Hardy for his. He was, again, changing character. It kind of suits him a wee bit. Getting away from the broken stuff to being this just arrogant, money prick. I love it. Can you see Darby Allin losing the title anytime soon, and maybe moving up for the main title?
There's a couple of fights he's had where I have thought that he's going to lose it. This one included. I thought they were building up for him to lose it, but Hardy's been doing so well. I was actually a bit nervous that he could keep up with Darby Allin, obviously at two completely different stages in their career, but unbelievable. I thought Hardy pulled it out of the bag. I was always a bigger Jeff fan, and so I was kind of half expecting Hardy to have slowed down, but he's not missed a beat. This was unbelievable. I was talking to somebody the other day about the zero gravity match in ICW, and in terms of high flying stuff, that would be the best thing that I've seen for ages. Daz Black was unbelievable, and ultimately didn't win. I didn't think, in terms of high flying ingenuity, that was going to be talked, but this has stole it for me this week. I thought they were unbelievable. Darby Allin, the more that he picks up these wins, the more credible he looks. I like his gimmick. I like his character. I like the fact that Sting's there in the background for him. So I hope he's quite a lengthy run. When you look at his physique, kind of takes me back to the days where people didn't have much belief in a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels carrying the company. And when you look at Darby Allin, you can see how, you've got that bit of doubt. So he's still an underdog champion for me, but I'm loving it.
Aye, well, agreed.
Another title fight tonight, isn't it?
Aye, and AEW Dark, isn't it?
Aye, I'm sure. Aye, he's.
Maybe actually look that up now while we're here.
Dynamite, I think it is tonight, Ryan.
Oh, Dynamite, is it? So it's Dark with her.
Aye, I'm sure he is facing somebody again, but just going on to what Liam was saying there, I thought the match was outstanding as well, man. I think it was just absolutely brilliant. Obviously, seeing all of the coffin drop to win it, see when Alan put it through the table, man, that was just honestly unbelievable. So it was brilliant. And about his resilience as well. We'll see the amount of damage that Hardy had actually done to Alan as well, people, and still been able to get, as Liam was saying, like, I think that's how he's going to go. He seems to have that kind of never say die attitude, which is brilliant. I hope he goes in a long run. He deserves it.
I agreed, and it's good to see it's like a company putting a title on the line every week. But there's times in WWE where it's like we defend a title and it's not seen for 2 months. Then you go, aye, we're the champions. That's right. And they win a wee 5-minute match. It disappeared again for 2 months. It's nice to see a fighting champion.
See, even right at the start of the match, Darby Allin's back looked in some mess, man. Like, did a coffin drop onto a chair, like, right at the start of the match, or near the start of the match, and just, like, they done a close-up of his back, and just them welts on it were just ridiculous, man. Even I think the commentator said at one point that Darby Allin's he's only 28 years old, and that's Matt Hardy been in the wrestling for 28 years. I thought that's just mental to think about, that how long Matt Hardy's been in it, and like how young he is, but just that the two of them are able to be in the ring at the same time as each other, and as Liam was touching on, like no missing a beat for each other.
I think you're right. I remember earlier on when you were talking about Cesaro with the corkscrew uppercut. I wanted to be a wrestler since I was 4. I always fantasised about it. I still imagine myself being a wrestler for about 20% of my daydreaming life. But there's things like this, that corkscrew uppercut where you think, no, fuck that. Same with Kane's uppercut, you're like that, no. But everything in this match looked like it hurt. There wasn't anything that looked like it wasn't absolute agony. Fair play to the two of them. Absolutely brilliant professionals and really pushing the envelope for each other. Brilliant.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. And moving on from probably the week's best wrestling to Raw. I've got 3.5 bullet points. I'll just say a half.
Look how much I've got written.
I'm glad I've only seen half of this.
This shite. I sat through this, and see if it wasn't for this show that I love to do, I wouldn't have had to watch this shite. Very true for the world.
No. I fucking take the shape of the good. That's just what they do in wrestling. The first kind of shining light from Raw is probably Orton versus Riddle. But I was a pretty decent match. But I've kind of read somewhere that Randy Orton possibly get injured during the match as well. So hopefully that doesn't hamper him. Is he kind of built for momentum?
I think it was his right arm, something to do with his right arm that he hurt, because after it was like only throwing with his left or something like that, it looked a bit awkward. But I think that's what happened. Mm-hmm. I don't know how serious it is though.
Well,
hopefully not too.
Hopefully not too serious. Aye. I can kind of see him maybe featuring in the title picture again, or even back with the Fiend. I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked what the two of them were hinting at. A wee RK bro. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I actually thought that was an okay match. I thought it was pretty decent. Randy Orton's always reliable. Riddle, sneaking the win in the end. But again, the same type of win that Rey Mysterio got over Otis. Like a quick surprise win and then sneaking out the ring. And you think, oh, come on, between the two shows, surely you can be more uniquely creative than that. Obviously, I wanted Riddle to sneak the win. No, I love it. I was glad he did. But come on, guys, we're seeing too much of the same thing.
They've just got a dartboard of fucking finishes that they just smashing. Did we not have that one? No, I don't think so.
No, last week? No, I don't think you have.
Not in my recollection, no.
It's just the repetitive. Obviously, that match was really, really good. I enjoyed it. Riddle deserves the push after that great match with Sheamus at WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? It's great to kind of see that continuing. So that's one thing they're doing well. But obviously, the return of the Viking against Shelton Benjamin and Alexander, the same match again. The time you're not really doing much for any of them. Do you know what I mean? The Viking Raiders, I'm not getting it. And then you shouldn't have split in me. Just making them look even again, by getting beat with the same opponent.
And they got a jobber's entrance.
I lost. Aye. I lost. So they are. My fucking tune might be a better idea.
Touching on the repetitiveness, the shows and stuff like that. The one thing I will take all day long, all 3 hours long, is Matt Riddle kicking about in that scooter. It's just fucking brilliant. It's comedy gold. How I think it was it in the way down to the ring, and Orton's walking out, and he just kind of zims by him and goes, "Whoa, bro!"
I was like, "Beat you to the ring, bro."
It almost cracked. It actually almost cracked. I was honestly in tears, man. It was just fucking brilliant. It's just like everything.
I'm pretty sure he did. Like, see at the start of the match when they were tied up to with each other. I'm pretty sure I seen Orton like chuckling away.
I mean, I know I've seen like clips of that online stuff like that, but like usually you don't see these things live. But it was hard for him not to crack. I don't know how the guy who was interviewing him, how he didn't laugh. Honestly, he's a professional who didn't laugh at that. Honestly, it's just brilliant.
See, just talking about promos that you're surprised that the cameraman or the guy doing the interview didn't laugh. What in the name of fuck was that promo with fucking Mason Teabag? I wrote it in here. Word for word. Just in case anybody hasn't seen it. Cats, dogs, birds, porcupines, hedgehogs, snakes, saber-toothed tiger. They're extinct, aren't they? Yeah, like they're going to be. What the fuck was that? What did it mean? Don't let them talk. If that's the kind of shit that you're going to let come out of their mouths. If that is the shit that's going to be coming out of their mouths, don't ever let them fucking speak again.
Oh.
Honestly, man, what in the name of fuck was that? Like, what? Like, I get that the Fiend might put subliminal messages and stuff like that, and you're supposed to kind of work it out and get what the mystery and the lure is behind it. What the fuck was that? Snakes, dogs, hedgehogs, birds, cats, they're not even extinct. Oh my god! I'm sorry to get away from the Randy Orton Riddle stuff. But that was shit.
Go for it.
But that just, I've honestly never wanted to turn something off more in my fucking life when I was watching that. It's just what to split up Retribution that had no fucking direction in the first place. Mustafa Ali isn't on the fucking telly anymore, and these two fannies are. And now that they've taken their masks off, we know it's Dio Madden, we know it's Dominic Dijakovic, it's not Mason fucking Teabag. Who are you kidding? Can we just forget that Retribution ever happened and just let these two go about their separate business and never let these two have any fucking mic time ever again if they're going to say any shit like that? Jesus Christ.
At least Riddle, when he bumped into the New Day, had some quality ideas and what he was saying. I mean, putting birds inside that really narrow box and just letting them free. Do you know what I mean? Or silver dollar pancakes.
See if Riddle came out with shit like that, I would expect it because he's a stoner. And if he came out with just random shit, I'd be like, fair enough, it's his character. These two fucking monster heel bastards are going to fuck you up. And then you hear them talking about birds and dogs and fucking petting zoos and all sorts of shit. It was
Captain Caveman.
It was honestly the worst fucking thing. One of the worst promos I've ever seen in my life.
It's ATV. Do you know what I mean? See when you, before you go to nursery, when you're fucking watching Channel 5 Milkshake and all that. Do you know what I mean? That's what that is.
I thought you were going to say Ruth and Neiman Holmes or something. Milkshake.
Oh god.
One of the animals. That's a dog. Yeah, well done, Mace.
Oh Jesus.
When the fuck did Michael turn into Jim Cornette? Hell, calm down.
I'm sorry. That annoyed me so much watching that.
Like you say though, they could be quite powerful in the ring without a fucking mic. Definitely.
I know.
They really could be. It's just they've ruined it with the mic skills. But let's face it, no every wrestler does have the mic skills. That's for sure, and they certainly will never have that.
See, to be honest, it's probably not even their mic skills. They might even be decent on the mic. It's just who the fuck
who
writing
wrote the script.
Aye, yeah. I know that the story is that Vince showed up late, and then when he seen the scripts and stuff like that for the show, he told them up and he wrote stuff on the fly or whatever. If this is what Vince is writing on the fly, don't ever let him write the fucking fly again. Oh my god, we get one good thing. We get maybe two decent things out of Vince writing on the fly. In fact, did we get two decent things? Maybe two at a push.
This is great.
Two at a push from Vince writing on the fly.
Cup of tea, man.
What is the point? Sorry. Get telling if I've been too loud. What is the point in paying these writers so much money if you're just gonna wrap it up and write it yourself, what is the actual point in it?
See, one thing you're saying about that is that Triple H, I'm pretty sure said, I don't know if it's NXT or if it's everything, but I have heard that there's supposed to be certain wrestlers that are supposed to be creating things, but I think it is more NXT, to be fair. Like probably Adam Cole and so on and so forth. I think that's the ones, but why not let some of these people that are kicking about on the main rosters, put a story forward that they think's worthy? I mean, there's people like Nikki Cross sitting there. Do you know what I mean? I know we're just bigging up the Scots again, right? But she's somebody that's just been lost, pushed aside because they're going, you're no good without Alexa Bliss. Let's face it, that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. She's a relatively good wrestler. If you forget everything about Alexa Bliss, for example, the way she's developed this character, which is fantastic, wouldn't you want to forget about it? But beforehand, if you put two of them side by side and you go, right, who's the perfect person for this? You're going to pick Nikki Cross because she was that character. She was insane. She's this maniac. She could have this dark side about her. Alexa Bliss wasn't. She was a goody two shoes. I mean, she had a wee bit of dark side when it comes to the heel, but why they went that option? Do you know what I mean? But then even then, why did they remove something like that? Do you know what I mean? And then just punt one person to the side. They could easily go, right, well, I've got a storyline. I want to do this. I want to do that. Why do they not allow something? If they're allowing to do it in NXT, why are they not allowing the ones that they're bringing up? Like William said earlier on, I think it's people like Ricochet kicking about Carrillo, and you've got, I'm not a big fan of Gaza, but to be fair, if he's feuding with his cousin, that could go somewhere. That could certainly go somewhere. Do you know what I mean? I think they two could come up with something fantastic. But why are they not allowing to do it? I don't understand either.
Even just you think.
I don't like
that. When you go. I've had enough.
I know. Just touching what you were saying, there is so many options and there is so many superstars that are getting under. I mean, there is the potential for so many different storylines, but I just want even different matches. Do you know what I mean? Like the same matches week on week in, week out. Like, then you're not getting the best of it. Do you know what I mean? Any superstars like you in that match? Let's move on. And I don't know. It's just you just need to have a wee bit more kind of thought. For me, as you're talking Alexa Bliss, that's what I'm most looking forward to about Raw. Do you know what I mean? A wee 2-3 minute promo of what's going to come next to that, and then that's me happy. I would quite happily turn the next 2 hours and 57 minutes. I'm not keeping people interested. Do you know what I mean? You're starting off with wee segments here and there to go, right, I don't really want to stay up for this. Because we're talking about AEW, you're starting off with a cracking tag team match that's getting really people involved. They've lost their touch to get people involved, or they're delaying matches. Let's see what the thing with Miz. Before you're waiting an hour to see if a match is going to happen, they're no finding ways outside the matches to kind of get the viewers involved, but they kind of get it together.
See what you're saying about that, though. Like, we're obviously talking about the bar that AEW set at the very start of that show. There's two sides to it, of course, right? WWE, I feel, I know for us, looking at it, we've just said, obviously, that they're holding these people back, they're not allowing these people to do this, yada, yada, but is that WWE just holding their cards close to their chest? They don't want to put that out and set the bar too high all the time because they know if they do that all the time, it's going to become rusty, it's going to become the same old, which I'm not saying AEW's failed at it yet because we're enjoying every single match, just like we do with NXT. But there is that risk there that they could end up going that way where we're seeing too much of the same thing over and over. Even if it is epic as hell, you're still going to go, right, they did that last week as well. They did the whole everybody running down to the ring and there's carnage throughout the whole bloody show where there's just about 10 people doing at the end of every match kicking fuck at each other. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could pick holes at that as well. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, so WWE could be, in a sense, holding their cards close to their chest, but then too often than not, they just let the valuable ones go because I've ended up wasting them and not using them. So there is that side as well, but I kind of see where you're coming through with that one, to be fair.
See, to be honest, I don't even think
No, I totally agree.
Sorry, man. See, to be honest, I don't even think it's that, like, that they're holding their cards close to their chest, because you see, like, I've written down, and this is credit to not to anybody who fucking care, Simon Miller at What Culture. This has been, you talk about repetitiveness over the course. This list has been made since the start of the year this year. There has been 48 distraction finishes, and
Jesus,
like over Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. 48 distraction finishes. That is just mental, man. And last year he had a list going of surprise roll-up finishes, and it was in the hundreds. He's got a disqualification counter, and it's in like the 20s to 30s. Like, the repetitiveness of WWE is killing it. And like, to think that like maybe that they might be holding their cards close to their chest, I honestly don't think so, because the rumor is that, and I don't know how much truth's in it, like, so take it with a pinch of salt, that the main reason that Billie Kay was released is because Kevin Dunn didn't see anything in her, and that trickled through to Vince. And if you can't come up with something for someone that's got that much talent, that much charisma, that much, like, yes, she wasn't the best at Sharply. Yes, she wasn't. You like fucking Natalia. Don't even start with fucking charisma natty.
If you're trying to compare Natalia to Billie Kay, you can fuck right off. You absolutely.
No, listen. I know Billie Kay wasn't great in the ring, but you can learn. You can teach.
She's plenty of time to learn, son. She can fuck off.
Shut the fuck up. Well, what's Natty's excuse? She's been in the business how long? Is she still shite?
Well, I think it depends what you mean. She's talented, still a bit green, still a lot to learn. You can't argue that in the ring that Natalia's much more technically gifted than Billie Kay. The fact that she's
I just like winding you up.
The fact she's managed to sustain a career and you've not managed to sustain a job for more than 2.5 years is because Natalia's actually got a beautiful personality. She's a beautiful human being. She's got a kind heart, and the people round about her love her to bits. I'm just saying in terms of life.
I will get my CV out. I will get my CV out.
We're fucking starting that way in Natalia again.
They all want.
The thing is, they're just not using the superstars in the right way. Do you know what I mean? I get what you were saying, Lewis. It can become the same old if you're just starting a show off with just people brawling all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. But then at the same time, you've got to come up with good storylines for people, and I think that's what they're feeling as well. So, I mean, if you're going to start with people coming out and speaking and doing this and doing that, to me, some of the storylines are not even getting that right. So it's if you're not starting with absolute carnage, you need to get the kind of the basics of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
no, it's like you say. I mean, I suppose one way as well, you could probably say AEW aren't really storylined as much. They don't focus the way WWE focus. They zoom right in on the story. They focus in it and they don't leave that. You know, whereas AEW aren't afraid to kind of have some wee pointless things kind of come off it. You know, a couple of wee brawls here and there that don't lead to anything between people. Do you know what I mean? Which is fair enough because there's a lot of factions like we spoke about. But I think in regards to the kind of the whole talk about not using them right, you can kind of see a storyline is important, but at the same time, if they've got different things like Michael mentioned, that's a stat that was just unbelievable. That's something I would never have thought of. Honestly, I was actually going to bring up a point about one of the tag team matches. Like, it's something I've not seen. I don't know. Maybe you guys would connect me, right? But like, when was the last time you seen a tag team match where there's an opponent in the opposite team's corner, obviously down on the turnbuckle, and they're getting the kind of foot from the person on the outside of the ring on their neck or on their head or kicking them? You don't see that anymore. That means there's certain things that we're talking about they're using all the time, but there's certain things they've took out and they don't use anymore. So it's like, where does it come and go? I don't know if there's a reason why they've done that, but at the end of the day, that was the way I remember tag teams. You know, you'd have the wee dirty kind of thing when the referee's not looking, somebody's choking the hell out of the guy and, you know, trying to do a dirty kind of attack on their opponent. But there's things like that, you know, they should be involving again. Maybe there's things that should be taken out. And certainly the finishes, that's rotten. So I see another distraction one after on that. That's that, honestly.
I think Lewis, you've hit on a couple of things there. I think in terms of the tag teams, I don't know how many times the tag team partners have actually been available to them in the corner in the last 2 years. They take a chop to the chest and are on the ground for about 15 minutes now. So it seems to be, again, the same old storyline in every tag team. I think you hit on a really, really important point about storytelling. And I think what AEW do is they let the match be the story. They give the performers the creativity to go and tell a story in a match rather than it be such a soap opera. Now, they do this thing going on with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle the same way it was before with the Elite in the Inner Circle and Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. They do have some protracted storylines, but they're not the sole focus of the promotion. So I quite like that, and I think what happened with the Young Bucks being so good in the opener is that it inspires everybody, like said Darby Allin and Matt Hardy, who know their main event, to go, fuck, we need to top that, and that creates momentum. Where I think the opposite happens in the WWE, where the storyline is the king. They're following a script, and that's stifling creativity, and that's why you're getting so much repetition.
I agree with that. I do.
100%.
I know. Just touching on like superstars that aren't like properly used, and this is my very last note that I've got here. Is Aleister Black.
Oh God.
Who?
Who?
Wait.
Who? I've not seen him in ages.
Obviously, he's teased a wee thing on Instagram. But I'm coming back with his new fucking look, his fucking glasses and whatnot. When he comes back, where do you think he goes? Because I personally don't want him on the main roster because they just don't use him, and it frustrates the fucking life at me because he's so talented. His in-ring ability is unreal, and personally, I want him back down at NXT.
Aye.
I mean, it's just like they brought it back up. They kind of took away his entrance. It took away his whole mystique. It made him lose stupid matches, and then just fucking tripped him off a building in Money in the Bank. It fucking disappeared for how long?
I think the story. I think the storyline. See, when he was involved with all that stuff with Seth Rollins and Mysterio and stuff like that, I don't think that did him any favours. I think they tried to get him involved constantly. He was just getting absolutely destroyed with Seth Rollins and Murphy. Do you know what I mean? When he's so much better than that, he was just getting line on. But I totally agree with you. I mean, he could take on Adams. Do you know what I mean? Even Escobar, people like that. Do you know what I mean? You could come up against him, and the matches itself would be incredible. He wouldn't need to win everyone. Do you know what I mean? To get shown, he would show up and be absolutely tremendous. So I think it's definitely the mission, rather than these silly storylines that he's just kind of getting put over for the sake of other people. Because he's far too talented for that. Do you know what I mean? He's one in the business, and he deserves to be kind of fighting people at the top, going for maybe title, like going for the championship. Do you know what I mean? That's what it would be best for. Aye, definitely agree with that.
Aye, I totally agree. Just his whole run in the main roster has just infuriated me, and especially when I'm a big fan for fucking they watch him from ICW and then come to NXT, then to just see what he is now. It's so disheartening to see what they're doing to like good talent. So it just annoys me.
It just goes to show as well, like when you're saying, like, are they holding all their cards close to their chest? Like, if they can't come up with a decent storyline or a decent angle for somebody as talented as that's got so many, like, so much potential, so much, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Arrows to the thing, man? Whatever it is. He's brilliant. So the fact that they can't, the fact that they can't come up with anything for somebody as good as that just shows you they're fucking hopeless. But in terms of him coming back, like, I think, like, with the kind of character that he is, I think he might fit in well with this guy. I think in some sort of way. Like, I don't know, but again, that's the thing. Like, if he does come back and he is going to be in the main roster, Smackdown, because he's like, that's the thing. Like, you wouldn't see him in a feud with somebody like Bray Wyatt, but Raw has just been handled so fucking poorly that, like, you don't know how that could go. It was like more than likely. I mean, you've seen, like, Randy Orton was in a feud with The Fiend, and they never even get any build up on the Raw before WrestleMania for their match. So to think the disrespect that the feud between the two of them would get, like, it's a bit kind of concerning. But in terms of him coming back, that is who I would like them to see. But again, depending on how they handle it.
think when you look at who he could potentially face on Raw, there are people like Cesaro and Sheamus, you know, where you can see the possibility of a good match. But when you look at the SmackDown roster, in terms of people that would be better matched with for storyline potential, you know, I definitely think there's more room, there's more scope for interest there. I'm just not entirely sure on Raw if there's enough room for him and Damian Priest.
Aye, is it the two are kind of similar in their, well, maybe not moveset, but I get what you mean. It's where their like style and their characters and stuff. It's aye. But if he did go to the main roster, I probably would prefer SmackDown. Just again, just for the writing, the like creative team. It seems SmackDown's probably the best show to be on now. Again, other than this 3-hour waste of space Raw.
Let's not give up hope for next Monday.
They better save themselves, honestly. First match, I want a Bucks Death Triangle performance. I don't know. I can be fucking anyway. I don't care.
I'm only ever one Natalia win away from
I mean, you.
I know. I appreciate turn up their suits. That's what I need. I mean, fucking money.
See, just as we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about the Randy Orton Riddle match, did you hear at the end? I don't know what one of the three dipshits it was that said it on the table. This is the biggest win of Riddle's career. The guy's just after having the United States Championship. How is him winning that no bigger than beating Randy Orton in just a regular match by roll up? And then the next segment they had Sheamus with the United States Championship. Sheamus with the United States Championship trying to put it over, and you're like, you've just literally slagged it by saying Randy Orton's better than the United States Championship.
It's quite interesting the way they're going with that kind of thing as well. Sorry, you can go, mate.
Tom Phillips and Samoa Joe.
Well, I just don't understand what was going on and stuff like that, but that guy's just, he just doesn't seem to hit it. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just kind of trying too hard to kind of make it work, and it's not really kind of clear.
Especially when you compare him to what the new edition SmackDown got, man. Like, I honestly feel kind of bad for him. Like, maybe he'll grow into it, but just you compare the two newest additions to the table, and you're like, Jesus, Pat McAfee's fucking streets ahead of him, and like even watching Pat McAfee's show when he was talking about his performance, he was like, I think I did okay, but I know that I've not reached my full potential. I know I can get a lot better. So it just is exciting hearing that, like, because it was brilliant. And then you hear Raw, and I think that adds to like the fact that it's a 3-hour show and the storylines aren't great, and then you hear people in the commentary booth and you're like, oh god, man, just like, at least it's not Jerry the King Lawler being a misogynist, I suppose.
It's reflective of the product, though. You know, the SmackDown's an easier product just now to describe and to sell, and you can be the best salesman in the world. If somebody gives you a job and tries to get you to punt it, it's hard to sell.
That's very fair.
I've made it a mission on the podcast to mention the word jobby at least once, and I know
on the jobby talk, that's it.
I love it.
I'll squeeze one in and squeeze one out every week.
So is that you saying Natalia shite?
I think that's what he was saying now.
Sorry, viewers. Apologise for Greg's inability to attend the next podcast. We'll be recovering in the Queen Elizabeth with 2 broken legs when I start shooting the fuck at him.
The band.
We kind of touched on how. Sorry, Greg. We kind of touched on how good Alexa Bliss is, and she's kind of the saviour of Raw now, especially with our wee doll Lily. which is I don't know. It's I'm all for it and fucking creepy, so I'm quite enjoying that. To be fair.
Just wish she would stop trying to take a bite out of me.
Oh, she's cute. Look at her. Look at her wee face.
The Photoshop team done a brilliant job of putting that doll in all of her past life experiences. That was, it was creepy as fuck, because usually when you see that done, it's so poor and it's so obvious, but the wee fucker looked like it had genuinely been there. Whatever those pictures were.
Imagine the guy that had to do it was like, do you want me to do it now?
Not long after losing the league.
I can sense a match coming on here.
I can't wait for lockdown's over and we can do this podcast all together in a studio. So we can actually cover Slam and Golf when we need to.
We need to get a sponsor, get a studio with a wrestling ring in it just to settle these disputes.
Greg's tapped out every time. You're not going to do it. Every single time he's tapped out. Top shite and then tapped out like a bitch.
Could you imagine the wet?
You can remember it.
Greg, you're the Miz apart. All that. Then it comes to you need to get Emma to join in when you're being cheeky, but she can cause a distraction and you can get a win somewhere.
I'm quite happy being a champion. Champion, so
As a champion,
Grand Slam champion.
Apart from that, I think my last kind of talking point on Raw for the night is probably Charlotte Flair's promo and then our match with Asuka, and obviously Big Rhea circling the ring like a shark, fucking licking her lips. That was fucking quite creepy. I don't know what about that. You see Charlotte challenging for the title next, Greg, or do you see Asuka getting a rematch?
I would love to see Charlotte get another title shot. I really do. I've always been a big fan of Charlotte. I think her in-ring abilities. I'm loving this side to her as well. I think her promos have been great. Kind of loving seeing this kind of nasty. Because she kind of brings it across as so good because she is the best women wrestlers that there is and there always has been. Do you know what I mean? And see all this into she's only had success because of her dad. I don't believe that. I think she's really worked hard and really deserved she's got on her own. So I would love to see it between the three of them. I would love to see Ripley, Asuka and Charlotte, the three of them. Triple threat match. I think that would be absolutely. If Charlotte can afford this, do you know what I mean? But I actually just been quite happy to kind of continue to push the two on. But personally, I would like to have the belt again. Probably no opinion, but I just think she's that good that I would be quite happy to see her hold the title again.
I'd be quite happy for you to describe Charlotte as one of the best there is, one of the best there always has been. Somebody else has really already got that. Is the tagline, pal?
Get the kid Fridgman right
there. Absolutely blow my top today.
She's not as good as shots. That's how I say she's one wrestler. That's just a big female wrestler.
Solid tag there, boy. You're right. I love Charlotte as well. I think she's brilliant. I'm surprised that you said, that you were liking the direction she was going, Greg, because I don't know how you can go back in the lodge after saying that when Charlotte's battered two referees.
It's a good fighter. I mean, she's it's a fight that you didn't really expect, and I think she gets a lot of criticism when she doesn't it. Do you know what I mean? You see a lot of things on social media. She's not. Who says in debate that she only is where she is because her dad? That's absolute rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Had wee opportunities here and there in a wee boost, but knowing this, her in-ring ability is incredible. I mean, there's it, and the way she's pushed other talent. Again, it could just be a personal opinion, but I think she deserves every success that she gets. And if she wins a title, she's only pushing Rhea Ripley and Asuka to be the best they can be. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Charlotte had beat Ripley for the NXT Championship, so if they're going to a triple threat and Ripley comes out on top, then it's only pushing Ripley to continue on in her run. For me, she's one of the best. She's the best, but she's up there, better than Natalia. Better.
Aye, definitely.
One thing is, Greg, right? See the ref she battled, right? Pretty poor, right? But they could have sent that Jessica Carr out, and I think she would have absolutely fucking flattened Charlotte. If you don't know who that is, it's the angry woman ref. She always just looks fucking constantly angry as fuck. Like she never smiles or anything. I think she'd fucking flatten her, Greg. Absolutely flatten her. Nah.
Should definitely be a better.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Aye.
The refs that were in the ring at the end of that match, that's some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
And the fucking 52,736 camera cuts. Jesus Christ, man. Every hit, it was like, no here. Fucking the real number, and I counted, by the way, the real number was 46. 46 camera cuts of the one beat him.
But that's don't do Charlotte. And for me, that they did that because of who it was, who did it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's Charlotte Flair, blah blah. So we need to make it out to be more dramatic. Like again, why are you doing that? Like Charlotte doesn't need that. Charlotte can just hit somebody and that's it.
What I don't understand is, like, I've been critical of Charlotte before, but only mainly to get a reaction out of Greg because it's funny to wind folk up. I actually, because I've said before, like the triple threat match that she had at WrestleMania is one of my favourite matches probably ever. Like, because just what the moment meant and the fact that I was there for it, and just it was brilliant. Like the whole thing. So Charlotte's in ring work has never been an issue for me. It's mainly because you never really know if she's truly a face or a heel. But I think the direction she's going in now, 100% she's a heel, and I think that's really good for her in that sense. But the thing I don't understand is why, after she's been out for so long, she's going to get to WrestleMania, blah blah blah, is she now written off television? Like, I don't understand that. And it came out that she's been given a $100,000 fine, and she's been suspended for I don't know how long. But I mean, maybe she's like suspended, and then she's going to come back next Monday and fuck somebody up, and you're like, oh, I thought she was suspended. Oh, that's amazing. But if they really are going to like write her off television, then I don't understand it.
No, Michael, it's a strange one. Don't get me wrong. See, when you start saying the thing I don't understand, I shat myself because I thought we've not got time to cover all of this. But totally agree. And I don't get where they're going with this. As Greg said, fantastic in-ring performer. She's also brilliant on the mic. When you're talking about the face heel turns, I thought she's done a good job, a pretty decent job of selling both. But same as with the Big Show, the more you do that, the more you undervalue the character. It's not fair, I think, to switch so often. They lose a bit of credibility. I think she's unbelievable to watch. There's never a time where I'm not interested in what she's doing. But what they're doing with her just now, whatever politics is playing out behind the scenes, it's not really doing her any favours. I don't get it at all.
See, even just touching on the politics and what Greg touched on, like people think that she's got a push because of her dad. That's a load of shite. That just goes to show that it's a load of shite, because if it was anything to do with her dad, then would she be getting this much shite just because she's married or in a relationship with Andrade? Like, as Greg was saying, it just goes to show that being Ric Flair's daughters get nothing to do with it.
Well, it can't. Otherwise, Curtis Axel and Davey Boy Smith Jr. would have been given the same type of opportunities and nepotism.
Dominic's been given better opportunity than they have.
Even your dad Seamus hasn't really given you a push in the main roster, Michael.
Coming soon. Watch your space. You're actually Googled Wrestling Academies, no joke. Watch your space.
Well, that look never really worked out well for Eric Rowan, so I would consider a wee change.
I've got none.
Yeah, he looks like Seamus upside down.
He's got a beard.
I think that pretty much covers everything for it, lads.
Oh,
If we've missed anything, but when you go.
Can I just give a wee shout out to fucking Xavier Woods in that match that they had playing Stone Cold's team after the first press,
yes.
and then the fucking stomp in the background. It's like, oh hell yeah! Oh.
That was phenomenal. That really was.
Oh, it was so good.
That was a good highlight of the Raw.
Just put them in anything, man. They'll make anything work.
That was good.
They're keeping the New Day alive, that's for sure. Even with Big E being separate now. Which, funnily enough, we've never seen any sign of Big E or Apollo. I mean, that drum match must have fucking banged them hard, I mean, so.
No. A match promo with Apollo with an even stronger Nigerian accent this week than last week.
Fucking the Polish guy. What was it they called them again? I can't even remember what they called them.
What was it, the Nigerian nail or something?
He's stolen Umaga's finisher, hasn't he?
What is that of it, man?
I know.
I did like fucking thumb to the throat.
It's mental.
That'll work.
I think let's see another thing, but we didn't really, obviously, the thing we haven't mentioned. Obviously, I know we're talking about tag teams and stuff like. You get the Viking Raiders, obviously. Like, how did you see that match? I felt like it was like they should have gave Viking Raiders more of a dominant display, but at the same time, I suppose you can kind of, the only positive you can take is they were trying to kind of keep the Hurt Business side of things with them, saying they are still quite dominant. So they gave them a bit too much spotlight, I felt, in the match. But Viking Raiders should have had a more dominant thing, considering they're just come back and they're wanting to put them up into obviously challenging for titles. I don't know what you guys thought about it. I felt like they didn't give them enough until the very end, when it was just like, obviously there was more dominance towards the end than there was of the full match.
I feel like the two of them should never have been near. The two tag teams should never have been near each other. Like, even from last week, it's bad enough doing a repeat, but like even last week they shouldn't have had that match. You're bringing a tag team back and you want to build them up strong, but you've also just broke up this tag team and you don't want them to just drift away and look weak as anything. So why put a dominant tag team in the Viking Raiders in a position to just completely squash Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander? The Hurt Business was amazing, and I don't know why they ever split it up. And the fact that they're now, I mentioned it earlier when they get jobber entrances this week. Like, what the disrespect? Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, but mainly Shelton Benjamin because I know more about him, are both so good. Like but how long has Shelton Benjamin been in this, and he's never been given that proper push? And I don't know why, because he's so talented. Like, you've seen back when his first run with WWE, the Money in the Bank ladder matches with Shelton Benjamin was the guy you were looking out for because he was a highlight of every single match. And now just the repeat as well, like the just constant repetition, so shit. Just what happened to like squash matches with jobbers you've never seen before? What happened to that, to build them up and make them look like a dominant tag team, not a well-established tag team that you don't want to fade away into the ether? Like, it just, again, like we touched on so much, Raw is just the
I'm not laughing at you, mate. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just laughing at Greg come back at the screen. So am I still here?
Hello.
I'd be fucked in WWE if I had to crack it in, honestly. I'm just entering the room, Mrs. Croughton. Sorry.
No, that's one of the guys at the Royal Rumble disappear under the ring. and just come back before the end.
You didn't mute yourself, Greg. We heard everything again, mate. Come on.
That's what I wanted. Big fucking jobby.
Hold him proud.
I was going to throw a jobby joke in as well, man. Like when it comes to you and Liam having this wrestling match, I mean, you get the mandible claw, but it'll be the deep fried jobby into the mouth. Come on, it's jobby talk. It's acceptable.
Whatever happens, Lewis doesn't get to pick your stipulation.
It might work in your favour.
No. Whether they put that in somebody's mouth or receiving it, there's no favour here.
Right off the head, it's a KO. Like it was punched to the stomach.
I think we'll let Ryan do the contract for that.
No, we'll just tell that Cyber Sunday. Let the audience pick.
Jobby on a stick.
Is it the stench or is it the hardness that knocks him out?
Is that about a lot of things?
Oh God, honestly, fucking bright. I don't know what you use, but I like the way they're going with the Priest thing with the Miz. The Miz is over doing the whole fucking Miz and Mizzy's shite, but it's good to see him kind of continuing this feud. Well, it's obviously spawned off a Bad Bunny, kind of like the feud. I think he's going to go somewhere with this, and obviously that we all loved that match in the end, didn't we?
Oh, so fair, bye.
Greg also listening to Bad Bunny every day on the way to work. He says he's listening to something else, but he's not really listening to Bad Bunny. His new album. He's bought a tour ticket and everything.
Praying for lockdown to be over so he can get his flight.
He was good in the match, but the music's horrendous.
Me and Michael just keep chipping away, and he's eventually listening to it.
There is nothing will make me listen to it. You stick to your guns, Greg.
You just need to get something with enough bass in it to truly appreciate the art.
Aye, the art I give him a fucking Claymore if he plays that tune one more time.
Yeah, he would sell it very well.
The Miz, back to the match though, the Miz and Priest, they were actually okay. I didn't think it was a bad match at all. Maurice obviously tried to do a worse sensational Sherry on the outside, failing miserably. I don't see what value she adds at all. But actually, the two guys in the ring, I thought did pretty well.
Quite liked a bit before it with Priest saying that he's as Miz as delusional as Jake Paul thinking he's a real fighter. I was like, fucking yes, Priest.
More bringing down the polls, yeah. We'll take that.
Can't get enough on Netflix.
If you're wanting an answer for Greg, you can't call him Damien Priest. It has to be Damien Minister, or he'll just ignore you.
Hey, I'm not that bad. That's a I'm open here. I'm open. Having said, now you mentioned Priest, it's the Majesty's 95th birthday, so many happy returns.
Aye, happy birthday, Lizzie.
No.
Aye. He's going well for it. Don't know about you, but I think that's.
Oh!
Right?
It's just my new stable name. It was just my stable name.
Right, I think it's time to cause a closure.
Dad, hello. I've been trying, but I just. I think the Celtic shit. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Trying, but they're not shut the fuck up.
Where's Ryan gone? Is he this?
I can't see Ryan or Lewis. Will we just call it a night then, folks?
I think we'll call it a night, lads.
Yeah.
Restream is now kicking us off. I don't know if Ryan's still there. No, I'm not sure. But thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back with another podcast throughout the week. Adios, amigos.
Thank you.
Cheers.